Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. We're going back in to the, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the event's name. I forgot the event's name. But we're doing the fierce battles on Planet Namek with the Sworn Enemy category team to complete one of the missions. And one thing I do want to put out there is, do you want to see me doing videos of me finishing the category missions, like these ones and the new ones? Would you want to see videos of those, like, or do you not care? You know, just stick to the, you know, using new units, new EZAs versus, you know, the legendary Goku event, SBR, ESBR. But or do you want to also see amongst that me actually do whole videos based on taking on this new event in the game? If so, do let me know down in the comments. I'm doing this one as a sort of a tester and to kind of gauge your reaction. Of course, we did do a video on it. What was it, last week I think it was, to see essentially what it was all about and if it was going to be difficult, what it was saying, and you know, the damage reduction for superclass, for taking superclass units is huge. Like, it's massive. You know, we were using the likes of Ultra Instinct Goku, you know, LRSSB Vegeta, and the damage reduction was ridiculous. Like, Goku was doing about 700k on crits, which crazy, because that's obviously nowhere near the amount of damage that he can do. So yeah, essentially, do let me know down in the comments, do you want to see whole videos dedicated into taking on and probably, and obviously after uploading them, completing the category missions for the Fierce Battle event, or the what's this actual name? I know this one's called Fierce Battles on Planet Namek, but the whole event has its own actual name, and I cannot remember what it is. What is it? Collection of Epic Battles. Do you want to see videos based on Collection on Epic Battles event with me doing the category missions? I said, do let me know down in the comments. I wouldn't mind doing them. I said, this video is here to gauge your opinion. Now, yeah, I could do those for you. I was tempted to do, like, you know, the new Frieza, the new Goku, the EZA Frieza, and the third form Frieza that's on as a side banner unit. As you know, as their own video, like taking on this event and making the whole video about them. But then I thought, there's no point really doing that, because the event's incredibly similar to the likes of ESBR. So I kind of thought there's probably no point doing that, because we already do videos taken on ESBR where we showcase units. So there's no point really doing that. I said this event is incredibly similar to the way that works. It's just not as difficult in my opinion. Especially right now as well, because we're doing sworn enemies, and right now the main units that do a lot of damage in this event and you know, probably help you get through this event a lot quicker are extreme class enemies, which we've literally got a whole team full of extreme class enemies. Funny enough, actually a full team full of Freezers. So, you know, kind of fits perfectly, doesn't it? You know, Frieza versus the Planet Namek Saga Fierce Battle event, or collection of Fierce Battle events. Kind of makes sense that we're using Freezers here as well. So do let me know that down in the comments, and of course I can do that for you. But yeah, in terms of the last 2 days, I know I haven't uploaded. It's nothing big. It's just one day. I kind of felt like just chilling, you know, just doing my own thing. You know them days where you just feel like chilling. That's all you really want to do. And then the day after that, or technically yesterday, I was kind of busy. So with one of my friends, and I thought, I'm not gonna, you know, you're not gonna force him to leave, but like, I need to record, dude. Do you wanna, you know, go away? Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much why there was no uploads those 2 days. As I said, I was just kind of chilling one day. You know, the days where you just kind of want to chill to yourself. You just want to have a relaxing day. And yeah, yesterday I was kind of busy, so that's why there hasn't really been uploads. But we're back to normal now. We're getting super attacked on the Frieza, right? We haven't really raised his defense. I mean, to be fair, Frieza should actually be completely fine here, because yes, don't get me wrong, he is amazing in Legendary Goku event because of the fact he can do so much damage, and he's constantly and continuously critting Goku, which, don't get me wrong, is good. But I do think overall that for longer events like the Legendary Goku event, it'll probably take a bit. I kind of didn't take damage at all. Of course, that Frieza is supporting Sworn Enemy category allies as well, which is great. But yeah, I do think the Goku is probably better off, just slightly better off in Legendary Goku event, a longer drawn out event, because of course they can both build up their attack, they both build up their defense as well. The only thing, as I said, which is the huge kind of good and bad problem you have the double-edged sword with the LR full power Frieza is, of course, he does so much damage, which is great, but it can be a hindrance on building up his defense on his ultra super attack, which of course you really want, because by the time you start facing full power Stage 4 Goku at the end, where he has type disadvantage, he can still take quite a bit of damage, which can be a little bit risky. So I do think Goku edges it. Not only does he have type advantage at the end, but a lot of the time, I think it's easier to get Frieza's ultra super attack off, but then again, as I said, he does so much damage that you don't get to build him up enough. So, with that being said, as I said, I do think the Goku edges it, because a lot of the time, you might, I mean, when we did it at least, we didn't really get his ultra super attack off a lot, so a lot of the time we're getting his super attack off, and not to mention he won't do as much damage as Frieza, because he isn't always critting, because obviously we're not facing a Frieza class enemy, or a Frieza enemy, which means we're building up his defense a hell of a lot more, which, I mean, you saw it in that video. If you haven't, go check it out, where we took the LRSSJ Goku into the Legendary GT Goku event. And we had his defense up to like 650k against full power Stage 4 Goku with type advantage, and he might as well have been sneezing on us. Obviously don't, because of the times we're in. I know we just come the back of the pandemic, but, you know, Goku was practically sneezing on us, because that's how much we built him up, along with the you know, along with having type advantage. So yeah, he was just doing next to no damage. So I do think Goku edges it in longer events, like Legendary Goku event. But don't get me wrong, it's very close, just as I said, because Frieza just does ridiculous damage. And I don't think we've ever seen a unit absolutely obliterate, you know, the Legendary GT Goku event like that, because of his built-in, you know, attack bonus to superclass enemies, and then also the built-in crits against Goku enemies, which you're doing every time you attack. So there's that. And then not only that, the reason why Frieza will edge it in like SBR, ESBR, and even this, to be fair, don't get me wrong, Goku will work really well here, especially on the final stage, because this is one continuous stage until you beat essentially the new LRSSJ Goku at the end, is the fact that, you know, as I said, this format is very similar to SBR to ESBR, which means every time you go into a new fight, it resets, which means Frieza doesn't lose, apart from on this part only. Frieza will constantly get his bonus, what is it, attack and defense plus 100% back, because you're just essentially going into new battles. So he will constantly have his attack and defense plus 100%, whereas of course in the Legendary Goku event, not that he really needs it, but you know, you lose it after 6 turns. You know, you lose that 100% on attack and defense and just get the attack plus 50%. Whereas this, as I said, you're going into new battles every single time, you know, and then it keeps resetting, which means Frieza's constantly doing ridiculous damage, and he's going to be doing ridiculous damage here, because right now it's going to be what, 3-4 phases of just Goku, which means that's where the crits are going to kick in. You know, so I do think Frieza obviously will edge it in short events like SBR and ESBR, and even this, you know, for the most part, because I said he gets to keep the attack and defense plus 100% because you're not in a longer drawn out event. But I do think he's very close overall for both units. They are both phenomenal units. Don't get me wrong on that one. So we're good here, because you're going to do so much damage, especially with a type advantage. Then we've got you super attacking off the air, but we'll be fine here. We're also getting a Dokkan attack off as well. But yeah, this part as well, even when he'll probably eventually lose his attack and defense, well, not even probably, he will, because we're on turn number 4. Even when he loses the attack and defense plus 100%, I mean, we've already seen it from the Legendary Goku event. Jesus Christ! You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Yeah, even with the him losing the attack and defense plus 100%, because we're facing Goku now, and this is a continuous battle, the way, you know, the Legendary Goku event format is right now, because it has multiple phases, he's going to be doing ridiculous amounts of damage. And also, don't forget, the extreme class enemies are the, you know, they will be doing damage, no damage reduction, which means there's no I guess kind of setbacks, you know, if you will. I kind of want to keep you on rotation, but you're a support for the whole team, so I'll rotate you off. Give you these. Give that Frieza. In fact, I'll give them. I'll save all them in orbs. But yeah, I do think Goku edges it in longer events, but I said Frieza, it's not like it's a big difference. They're very close to each other in terms of how good they are in the Legendary Goku event. But I do think Frieza will edge, I said, the shorter events, because he doesn't lose that attack and defense plus 100% as, you know, not as frequently, but as I said, you know, you're constantly going into new battles, which means you get that part of his passive back, if you will. But yeah, so far we're absolutely washing this with sworn enemies, which I kind of thought would happen, just for the sole fact, you know, it's a full That was a big amount of damage. I forgot how much damage you can do there. To be fair, we have type disadvantage, and that's another, like, that kind of echoes what I was saying earlier about when you get to the full power stage 4 Goku phase, you know, he has type advantage, and because Frieza just flies through the event, his defense isn't built up that much, which, I mean, you saw it there. We have type disadvantage, we got supered, and we're now down to, like, what is it, 160, 150k health? 160k health, which is, you know, it's a pretty big amount. So yeah, that's the kind of voice crack. Bit of a voice crack there, mate. Yeah, that kind of echoes what I was saying earlier about the whole, you know, that's why Goku edges Legendary Goku event over Frieza, just because you can build him up a bit more and you don't fly through it. And, you know, it also helps with other units as well that you need to build up and stack. And how much damage you're going to take here? We do have a snake active, which means there's some damage reduction. Still took 260k though, but I am glad I healed. Because he's getting a bonus because we're facing a superclass enemy, so he will do a bit more damage, which is nice. He's been doing a bit more damage for the entire event, 1.6 mil. And then double digits on basics. That's the main thing with this event. It's not overly difficult. Yes, you can be caught out a little bit, don't get me wrong, especially on super attacks. And I can see where it will be a tiny bit more difficult when doing the category missions, but it's not overly difficult. Do you know what I mean? You know, this one's going to be a lot more easier than the other ones because you can pretty much do a full extreme team, and not to mention Frieza's there, which means by the time you get to here, you're just doing ridiculous amounts of damage. So this one's probably not the most difficult, but obviously when you have teams where you're going to be taking probably a combination of super and extreme type units, I can definitely see how it would probably get a little bit more difficult, because obviously you're going to have damage reduction on the super type units. Yes, you won't have a lot of damage done to you, especially if you're taking the big boys, you know, the heavy hitters and stuff, which is understandable. We saw that when we tried it for the first time, when we took reps of Universe 17. But I don't think it's going to be... It's not overly challenging, but as I said, I can definitely see where you'll be caught out. Like there, you know, you could be like, you know, I'm absolutely flying through, Frieza's fine, and then you get super attacks, and then bang, the run could have been over there. So I definitely see how you could be caught out on, you know, the latter stages when you're facing Goku and he super attacks you. I think for the most part, it's not going to be over difficult. I think when you're doing the teams where you're taking super class units and extreme class units, just like what we saw when I tried the first time, I think for the most part, it's essentially just going to be, it's just going to take a little while. It's just going to take a little longer to do. You know what I mean? So I think that is probably where the difficulty, if you will, like put that in quotations, like that's where the difficulty kind of comes from. It is going to be the fact it will take a bit longer when you're using the other category, or when you're trying to complete the other category missions, because you probably will have to take super class units which don't do a lot of damage. Like, they're still done a bit of damage. We did have a Whis active here, like, let's not forget. There's still a bit of damage, and I said I can see how you can be caught on this event, and, you know, it can easily ruin a run, or you can, you know, potentially die. But as I said, I don't think it's overly difficult. But I do think Sworn Enemies, while I'm saying this, I will say Sworn Enemies definitely is a lot easier probably to do than the other categories, especially because you have the Frieza on the team. And also you have a full extreme team, which means you're doing, you know, no damage reduction involved. You're doing ridiculous amounts of damage. We also have the third form Frieza on the team, which means he's given support as well. Sworn Enemy categories, which means we're doing even more damage, especially with the LR full power Frieza as well. Yeah, I wouldn't say this event is overly difficult. It's just, it takes a bit longer, you know, as I said, with the super class units, which is to be expected because of the damage reduction. But Frieza's having a field day in this event, as I said, because we keep getting that attack and defense plus 100% back. We're definitely past turn 6 right now, aren't we? Definitely. We're on turn 9, yeah. So he's actually lost it at this point, which is fine because he's still doing ridiculous damage because we're facing superclass enemy, which means the attack plus 50% on top of the attack plus 50% that we now have instead of attack and defense plus 100%. And then also, of course, we're constantly critting because of the built-in crits against Goku's enemies. And now we're going to get a built-in additional because you've attacked me first. You actually attacked me like 6 times, but still, you attacked me before I super attacked. A built-in additional. Big 2.5 milli crit. We're almost beat it here. As I said, I do think this event's not overly difficult, but Sworn Enemies is probably one of the easiest to deal with. It's mainly because of this guy, and of course you have a full team of extreme units. if he crits it, we're done. In fact, even if he doesn't crit, I feel like we'll still be done. But he might. I think if he crits, we definitely will be done. Yeah, 2.6 mil, bang, done. This is a lot quicker than the first time we tried, or the first time we went around. Obviously, because there was no damage reduction. But yeah, as I said at the beginning of the video, do let me know if you want to see me make videos. Oh, we completed a Purunga mission as well. Do let me know if you want to see me do videos on actually completing the category missions for the collection of epic battles. Specifically right now, the fierce battles on Planet Namek. Do let me know that down in the comments, and I'll get that done for you. And to be fair, we need to do them anyway because we need to get the memory done. But do let me know if you want videos completely on them. Maybe it'll help you with team ideas. I don't know. Just let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Of course, we've got more videos along the way, so do turn that bell on to be notified when I drop new videos. We've still got to take Frieza and Goku, the Easy A Frieza, the third form Frieza, all into SBR, etc. and see how they can do there. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. And peace.